Hello everyone, Cambear Run here, and welcome to another episode of One Season Wonder. I'm covering Everton. I've been here for 3 days, and this is already might be the worst thing I've ever done. So, I'm going to go into a couple of bits. The Everton are previously... when I remember them, they always used to be a very, very tough team. They were very good under David Moyes. Even in their history, if I can fucking find it. Even in their history, they were, regular, top 10 finishes at least. They kind of dropped off after they were brought up by Morshy. They have 5 FA Cups, the last one coming in, I believe, 1994. Yeah, 1995, that's the one where they beat Manchester United. One Sky Champion in 1931. They got, a couple of Community Shields. One UEFA Cup Winners' Cup in the 80s. But actually, that was a thing when they won the 85, and then they got banned from Europe. Because their title-winning team never won and got to Europe because they were banned because of the Hazel disaster. That's something that soured the Merseyside derby, actually. But as of recently, it's been shit, as you can see. Last season, they barely avoided relegation. This season, obviously, they are now in the relegation zone as of recording this. It's not been any better. I'm literally recording this the day after they got relegated, knocked out of the FA Cup by Man United. I've gone to the tactics page. Their squad's an absolute fuck. You've got the strong midfield here. You've got Mielenko, Cody, Tarkowski. I'm going to use Nathan Patterson because I'm not using fucking Seamus Coleman. Pickford, Idrissa Gana Gay, Iwobi, Decore. Iwobi can also rotate with Amadou Onana. Damari Gray. I've got Salman Rondon and Morpay at the minute. I don't have another striker because the big problem that you have is they have an appalling number of players injured and an appalling number of players out on loan. It's like they basically just flogged off half their squad. They've also brought in Dwight McNeil, which I'm never going to use because he's a winger. And you know how I play. So I need to try and get another striker and another fucking fullback. But I've only got, I think, 2 million. Yeah, 2 million to fucking do it. I've listed a couple of players. I've actually listed Anthony Gordon because he is worth 31 million. If I can get somebody to pay 30 million for him, I can go on a little bit of a spending spree because I get to retain 100% transfer profit. And I can hopefully build a decent fucking squad. Because, my god, do they need signings. Because I can't even fill my subs bench. Unless, not even if I get every single fucking keeper. One of which I can't even get because they are on loan. Everyone past the keepers is fucking injured. And I have no idea what the fuck I'm going to do. Alright, goals and rules. The goal is to get to Europe. Really. I'm going to try and at least get into Europe or qualify through winning a trophy. So that'll be the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. It's going to be a hell of a task as well. We've got all of these fucking... Jesus Christ. We've got an endless amount of fucking friendlies. Oh, and then a Seamus Coleman testimonial. Really? And then we start the Premier League against 6th of August against... Oh yeah, I forgot they've got one of the worst fucking first 5 games in existence. Yeah, I remember they actually had a ridiculously hard run. So, yeah, we've got to get through the season. Obviously, we've got the usual fucking break for the World Cup. I'm probably going to do November and December joint again. And then, yeah. All's well that ends well. Oh, Jesus Christ, that ending. Yeah, this is going to be an entertaining one. This might actually be the hardest one I've done yet. They are just, they've got loads of players who are transfer listed and wanted as well. They want to sell even more players, and I'm going to have to scramble around for, the entire July and August trying to fucking get players in, because this might be fucking pain. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and at least get somebody shifted for 30 million. We're going to trigger the extension. Have to match picks for TV. Klein, we are literally just going to expand the extension, and then we'll be fine. So I'm going to get through the pre-season, and then I'll see where we're at. I'm going to see if I can make a signing or two. At least boost the squad number. So, yeah. I will join you then. Okay, pre-season is over. A little bit whispered because it is 11 o'clock at night here. It's not been shit, but it's not been great. Let me explain. So the pre-season went like this. It was kind of an issue with the defeat to Victoria Pleasant and the draw with Palmer, but otherwise it was fine. My main issue has been on transfers. So I transfer listed Anthony Gordon, and because I didn't need him anymore. and he was valued at 31 million. The reason why it's half of that, I couldn't get anyone to pay up, understandably, and because he's only on 10k a week, but I couldn't get anyone to pay up, and everyone else for some reason didn't want to pay his wages. So I dropped it to 20 million. I got an offer coming in for 14 from RB Leipzig. I thought, oh, what the hell, I'll take it. The board blocked it and said, no, we can get at least 15 million for him. I went to appeal. They said, no, you've got the squad as it is. You'll be fine. You can just deal with it. Which I thought, okay, but I'm still going to try and sell Anthony Gordon because I need the money. Because I need to try and put in bids because we have a very paper-thin squad. And every single offer was loan. Granted, with regular options to buy, option to buy. One of them was mandatory for like 12 million. I actually almost accepted it, and then I thought, well, the board won't. So I ended up rejecting it out of hand. I could not sell him, and now I have no money and a paper-thin squad. I have put in one transfer bid for Joe Scally from Mönchengladbach. Just get an extra right back in there. But it looks like the team that I have, I'm going to have to get through the entire season with. Dwight McNeil can at least play attacking, advanced forward and attack. And I can at least get Anthony Gordon to play in AM position. But I think I might be slightly screwed in certain other areas. This squad is not big enough, and half the team's injured, and a load more of it is completely screwed. It's out on loan. Ben Godfrey is missing until about, I'd say, 4 months. Yeah, is out till February. Out till February, March. Out till at least December. Suspended for this match. And then Yerry Mina is out between 7 weeks and 3, out till fucking December. This could actually, November, December. This could actually be a fucking pain in the arse. So our schedule, I don't know whether this is actually the real fixtures, because we're starting off against Tottenham. Then we got Man City. Then we got Leicester. Then we got the second round of the EFL Cup. Then Aston Villa. Then Liverpool. I really think this is not the actual fixture list. I don't remember that being this hard. But this is going to be very, very difficult. Because we've got two hugely big teams. Who, by the way, Man City lost their first game 3-1 against Nottingham Forest. That's why it says 19th. That was funny, actually. So I'm going to go start the game against Tottenham. I will join you at the end of August. I think this could be a very, very long and arduous season. Never mind getting into Europe. I think it might be difficult to not get relegated. Obviously, we're in January, so we can shift a couple of players. So, anyway, see you then. Okay, so we're at the end of August. I've got the webcam now because I accidentally deleted the footage, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Super honesty, I know I said in an earlier video during one of the Brentford main series, I said, oh, it's really, really tough. In truth, I have not even started it because I've had, no time. So we'll go to the fixtures first. It's been better than I thought, but not as good as I'd liked. So we started off with a 1-1 draw against Tottenham. We conceded early to a Matt Doherty header, but then Morpay drove us level. We then beat Manchester City 3-2. We rushed into a 2-0 lead very early. They brought it back level. We were 2-2 at half-time. City had chance after chance after chance after chance. And it's kind of one of the reasons why I got put off with this, because it was I couldn't really, the match took about 25 minutes to get through, because it kept stopping for another City chance, another City chance, another City chance. And then Iwobi poked one home at the death, 7 minutes from time to give us the fucking win. Then we lost 2-0 to Leicester for a reality check. Then we rode high again with two wins over Villa and Newcastle. The Aston Villa one was actually really, really fun. Dwight McNeil scored a hat-trick. And then we got smashed in the Merseyside. Oh my god. This was so bad. It was actually embarrassing. The fact that we conceded off of Luis Diaz capitalizing on a defensive mix-up told you everything you needed to know. Every single pass we made basically went straight to them. I think I put in the additional comments at the end of the game in the dressing room. How the fuck do you call that passing? So, we've only got 3 games over, which is fine. Arsenal, West Ham, and Crystal Palace. Because obviously we go straight into a international break, as you do. In terms of transfers, obviously this is the transfer deadline day. I'm trying to bring in Ben Brereton Diaz. We sold off... Oh, wait, Anthony... Yeah, Moise Keane is still leave. Where's the history? So, I sold off Anthony Anthony Gordon to Brighton. He's gone to Brighton for 16.5 million. I was able to sell him. Obviously, in the interim, I mentioned fucking... I couldn't sell him off because they wouldn't let me sell him for less than 15 million. We've also brought in Joe Scally from Mönchengladbach. How much did I pay for him again? I paid 2.8 million, rising to 3.3. He's actually been fairly decent. He's only 19. He's got plenty of room to grow. He's 2.5 stars. I just didn't want to rely on Seamus Coleman as a backup. So we've got Nathan Patterson as a starter, Josie as a backup. That also means that both of our starting right backs are under 21 years old. Let me go and have a look real quick. Yeah, they're both under 21. So we've got Nathan Patterson and Joe Scally. Hopefully we'll tie up the deal for Ben Barrett and Diaz. Sold them off the black. Sold him off the black one, brought him straight in for this one. He's literally just there to give us another option up front. Because obviously Salman Rondon is a bit past it, and we still have a while to go before Dominic Calvert-Lewin's back. Yeah, he's out for another 3 to 7 weeks. He's probably going to be straight into the team when he comes back. But for the moment, we're a little bit screwed. So I'm going to go in to face Arsenal. I don't expect to get a win. I'm hoping to get wins against West Ham and Palace. And then I'll join you at the end of September. Anyway, give me a second. Alright, it's September 30th. Some things have happened. We did get hold of Ben Barrett and Diaz. We also got hold of another person, which I managed to get some money for. Where is my inbox? Here, Leonardo Bittencourt. Signed from Werder Bremen for about 2.8 million, or 3 million even. He's probably not going to improve much. He is literally signed for depth. Just to give us another option at the attacking mid, because of course I did sell off Anthony Gordon. Other than that, the form was very interesting. So we lost 6-1 against Liverpool. We then beat Arsenal 4-0, which was very surprising. Ben Barrett and Diaz got his first goal. Then we lost 2-0 to fucking West Ham. The penalty we gave away was bullshit. But unfortunately, we just weren't very good. And then we beat Crystal Palace 2-0. We seem to be struggling for consistency at the minute, which is kind of a problem because we seem to be able to string good results together, then we have an absolute stinker. So we've got quite a few games over the October, because of course we do. They should be fairly decent. We've got games against Leeds, Bournemouth, Wolves, Newcastle, and Brentford. The two which will struggle probably being Chelsea and Newcastle. And then we should be okay against Bournemouth and Wolves especially. So that will be quite interesting. Other than that, still doing the same tactic. We're getting there. We've almost got Dominic Calvert-Lewin back. We're a little bit a while away on Yerry Mina. And then, of course, we've got the long-term injuries of Ben Godfrey and... Andros Townsend. Unfortunately, Idrissa Gueye is suspended for this match. He picked up one too many yellow cards. Which sucks. Mostly because he's been booked in every single game we've played. So you will see me at the end of October. Farewell. Okay, we're in the end of October, and what I wouldn't give for an iota of consistency. Right, I might as well get through the results. Somehow we went and beat Chelsea 4-3, which was fun. Which included a 94th minute equaliser from Raheem Sterling, and in the 96th minute, Joe Scally got the winning goal. Because what the fuck is anything? Then we lost 2-1 to Leeds, because of course we did. We absolutely pissed the lead away again, which was a fucking stupid penalty decision again, which we seem to be hemorrhaging those. We managed to get a narrow 1-0 win against Bournemouth, thanks to a goal from Neil Maupay. Then we naturally went up against relegation fodder and fucking barely came out of it. Even with a red card in our favour. Calvert-Lewin got 2 goals, which was useful. Then we got smashed by Newcastle, which was fun. Callum Wilson hat-trick, because basically no one could fucking deal with him all bloody game. We got 1 goal back through Ben Barrett and Diaz, but it was an absolute shit job. Bonus points. I had to, because everybody was tired, I played like the Newcastle game 2 days later, or 2-3 days later. I had to play Tom Davies and holding midfielder. Shout out to Tom Davies for being absolutely appalling. And then we beat Brentford 2-0, with Bittencourt getting his first goal for the club. So, we are, in terms of the competitions, we are 8th. I'm looking at the table. We are level on points, but because we keep suffering these massively heavy defeats, we keep having a shit goal difference. We need to win, and we need to win well. Otherwise, we're going to have some problems. For this month, we've only got Southampton, Man United, and Fulham. Because obviously the World Cup starts afterwards. I will probably do November as its own thing, because we'll probably have quite a few friendlies in December, so I'll talk about the friendlies. The only other thing to note is that we have binned off... Where is it? We have binned off Asmir Begovic. He's gone out to Saudi Arabia, because I was not going to fucking use him ever. So we got $1 million for him, so that balances out the books. Otherwise, not a lot else to talk about. I just need to try and get some consistency out of this team, otherwise I'm going to do my nut. So, anyway, I will see you guys at the end of November. Okay, so it's the opening day of the World Cup.
What?
It's fucking recording. For YouTube. That's my roommate, everybody. Say hi. Say hi. Okay, yeah, we're not going to get high. It is the opening day of the World Cup. My roommate took off her headphones because she thought I was talking to her. It's it's at least the opening day of the World Cup. We got through the November fixtures. They were fairly straightforward. So, 4-2 win over Southampton, where we threw away a 2-goal lead and then restored it, as you do. Then we got tonked by fucking Man United, as you would do at Old Trafford. 2 goals apiece from Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. Although Vinagre and Dwight McNeil did at least make it respectable. And then we got a 3-2 win where we had to come back to beat fucking Fulham. Joe Scally somehow has scored 2 goals and has been really, really good for us, but can't get into the USA team for the World Cup. Don't ask me how, I don't know. Our top scorer at the minute, I think, in terms of the club, yeah, Dwight McNeil and Damari Gray. In terms of competitions, I think Ben Brereton Diaz has actually done quite well. 11 starts, 4 goals in the league, 3 assists. He's done good. And I've started shit with at least 2 members of the squad. So, seriously, I've started shit with them. So the first one being Mason Holgate. He's unhappy because he wants to play more. I don't care. So he is transfer listed. And Tom Davies, who is on the way out anyway. He is under a bid from, where was it? FC Copenhagen, of all places. So he will hopefully get his work permit on the 6th. He will leave on the fucking thing in the January because he played 1 game, he was shit, and then I had 3 or 4 key players come and say, oh, you should be starting him more, we shouldn't let him leave. And there was no button to tell them that I'm not in the habit of coddling useless cunts, because useless cunts don't get coddled. Believe me, I should know. So, yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to sit around, see how the World Cup goes, probably take a holiday. We'll see how many fucking friendlies we get over the December, because we're all supposed to come back on the 6th, on my birthday. In real life plus game, because my birthday is the 6th of December. I am fucking 31 years old, motherfucker. Anyway, I will see you guys at the end of December. Okay, it's January 1st. I've played through December. We didn't have any fucking friendlies. So nobody had any match fitness by the time this league started again. The results went as follows. We beat Nottingham Forest 6-3 with a good hat-trick from Ben Brereton Diaz, plus goals from McNeil, Gay, and Damari Gray. Damari Gray and Idrissa Gana Gay. And then Morgan Gibbs-White, Freuler or Wanye kept fucking scoring goals. It was really annoying. We basically got pulled back to fucking 2-2. Got Gay put us back ahead. I'm going to get demonetized for saying Gay so many times. Taiwo Wanye pulled them back again, and then it just had to be fucking... Well, it took three goals to get us back, including 2 from Brereton Diaz. And then we lost 4-2 to Man United. Yeah, Rashford hat-trick, Varane scoring header. We pulled 2 back eventually, but well, then we were already 4-0 down. Wasn't great. So, transfers... Tom Davies is leaving us. Since I decided, fuck it, I'll just sell him. He's going to FC Copenhagen. As well, we've had some more outgoings. Seamus Coleman has left to go to Shakhtar Donetsk for 225k because he is past it. He's a club legend, but I can't have him around anymore. Nathan Patson and Joe Scally in the future. And Solomon Rondon has fucked off to Mexico because didn't need him. He was crap. 33 years old, 3 stars, didn't really play much. I did actually get a thing about concern from Jordan Pickford. It was like, oh, but why did you let him go? He was a legend. Yeah, well, he's the fucking old. Patterson is the future, and he believed me, so which is good. And as for people coming in, so go to the thing, we now have a decent backup option for goalkeeper. I'm going to say that's Wilker, the US silent. So it was Wilker Farinez, Venezuelan, and he's brought in from RC Lens. I believe we paid about 2.2 million for him to bring him to Everton. So we have a decent backup goalie now. Ignore that. He's retiring to full fitness imminently. He should feature against Brighton. We'll have to see go because I can't. I had to play Damari Gray through both games, and he is absolutely fucking knackered. This is the team I basically have to run with because of fucking all the packed games. So yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, for the schedule for going into January, we've got Brighton, Brentford in the third round of the FA Cup. Hopefully we can win that. Palace and Liverpool. Not exactly an easy run because Brighton are quite good. Liverpool, obviously Liverpool. And Brentford are pretty decent. We'll have to see how we do in that. And then, yeah. So there's only 4 games. I will see you guys at the end of January. Okay, it's the end of January. It's been a fun time, actually. So, basically, as far as the schedules go, once I get the thing, we got a 2-1 win against Brighton, which was actually pretty good. 2 goals from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Another 2 goals from Dominic Calvert-Lewin against Brentford. Helped us overcome Brentford. To be fair, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, this so far has been on fire since he's come back from injury, especially over this month. Another 2 goals. Yeah, he got 3 separate braces, and then another goal from Alex Iwobi helped us scrape by Palace. We scored in the second minute, they scored in the third, and then we ended up needing 2 goals to get through, and then we still conceded late. We unfortunately lost the Merseyside derby to a fucking Jordan Henderson shot, and it was really frustrating as well, because we had a really good chance towards the end, but we absolutely shafted it. And then we took out our frustration on Norwich. So yeah, a hat-trick from Ben Barrett and Diaz, a goal from Neil Maupay, and 2 from Leonardo Bittencourt. They did get 1 response early in the first half, but that was nothing. So we've now got the February. We've got an FA Cup 5th round tie in the March against Wolves or Derby. But we've only got these 4 fixtures, 2 of which are televised. We do have Man City at the end of the month, which will be fun, but we've got some easily winnable fixtures here. We've got the deadline day to come up. I'm a little bit frustrating, but it's a little bit frustrating because Bayern are sniffing round Calvert-Lewin when I really wish they wouldn't be. Yeah, look at all of that. Holy fuck. I mean, if somebody gives us enough and we can replace him, I might. But I'd rather not. Other than that, I'm still trying to get rid of Mason Holgate. He looks like he's on for a loan from Lille. I don't think I'm going to be able to transfer list him off. He's worth $5.5 million, but he's on 73 grand a week. That a lot of it sums up Everton's transfer policy. No wonder they're in where they're in. Yeah, Mason Holgate's getting loaned out. Jordan Pickford play youth players at right back. We've got Patterson and Scally, so that'll count because they're under 21. So we just keep doing what we're doing. Anyway, other than that, I will see you guys at the end of February. Okay, it's February 28th, and it's got weird. So, before we go into the obvious elephant in the room, let's go over the rest of the results. So, we beat Newcastle 4-0. 2 goals from Calvert-Lewin, 2 goals from Bittencourt. We beat Leicester 3-1. Calvert-Lewin again, Dwight McNeil, Amadou Onana. Jamie Vardy pulled 1 back, which was incredibly frustrating. Then we lost 3-1 to Brighton, which was incredibly annoying. Conor Cody got 1 back, but we kind of threw it away in the first half. A couple of players had some really bad performances. Let me explain this one. This sounds really bad. I couldn't be bothered to sit through a 15-minute kind of game where it's 800 fucking chances of City attacking. I thought, fuck it. I'll sim the game. I'll go on holiday. I'll sim the game. I will come back. I'll take the 3-0 loss. I simmed it, and we won. I think it kicked in Sports Interactive's like weird thing for shock results, because we end up winning through goals from Iwobi and Calvert-Lewin. We did lose Connor Cody to injury, though. He's out for basically the rest of the, 4 or 5 weeks. So nearly the rest of the season. We've certainly lost him for the entirety of March, which is frustrating because we've also got, I think Ben Bertrand Diaz was injured at the beginning of the week. We've probably lost Betancourt for a while as well. We've got quite a few injuries mounting up, and we don't really have the players to replace them unless I want to just put Andros Townsend on the bench. Because everyone else is out on loan, which is fucking stupid. So, yeah, in terms of competitions, haven't checked it yet. We are in 6th. We are ready to go into the 5th round against Wolves. That'll be the first game we play in March. But we look on for fucking at least nabbing Europe. We do have a bit of an awkward schedule in March. We've got Wolves, Tottenham, United, Forest. Yeah. I think I'm not going to sim any more games because I don't want to end up giving a false impression, because I kind of simmed it thinking we just automatically lose. We kind of won. So that's really awkward. That's lesson learned on that. So I will probably play through the rest of it, even if it's like 15-minute games. Anyway, I will join you guys at the end of March. Okay, just before we go on to the March results, because it's the 31st of March, I sent my assistant manager to go do one of the media conferences, and they said, in addition to battling relegation, Arsenal are also competing on other fronts, whereas your Everton are not. Apparently both ourselves and Arsenal are in a relegation battle, despite the fact that we are 7th and Arsenal are 6th. I have no fucking idea what they're on about. Anyway, on to the results. So, it hasn't been great, to be honest. We beat Wolves in the FA Cup, then we lost to Tottenham. The penalty call was absolutely idiotic. Gay just comes over, smashed into Emerson Royal for no other reason than durr. We drew against Man United at home. We had so many chances to win. We should have done so much better. And then we got knocked out of the FA Cup by Newcastle. They basically dominated us. I think their chances, if we click on the thing, their chance report was off the scale. Yeah, 32 shots, 16 on target, 9-4. We actually got fucking dominated the whole game. Basically, it was just like losing the 5-1, but apparently we can smash them at Goodison Park, and they can smash us at St. James's. So we've got April coming up. It starts on the April 1st. We've then got to go through all of this, including Wednesday game against Bournemouth and a Wednesday game against Forest. We need to really make the most of this run so that we can try and get into Europe. At the moment, we are 2 points out of it because we had this awful bit where we had to play 2 really good sides. Otherwise, we don't have any other fronts to fight on, so it is just fighting to get into Europe in the league now. It should be okay. The only concern I have is that I believe Betancourt got injured, so Gray's going to have to be run a little bit ragged. We had a couple of injuries on international duty, but I think they've cleared up. I took the whole of international duty off as holiday. Basically, I'm just going to move Dwight McNeil back into contention. We will replace... Oh boy, who are we going to replace? Townsend, obviously. Get people back in. I put my substitute goalie in for fucking Pickford, and I don't think it would have made a difference. So yeah, we're going to go into April. So, should be okay. We are still losing fucking money at a rate of knots. But then I'm only here a season, so I don't need to worry about that. So, see you at the end of April. Okay, it's the end of April. The results are here, and if you can barely see my face, that's because I don't have a ring light and the sunlight is bearing down. You're going to have to bear with me on this one. So, basically, the season started off quite well. We got a 5-3 result against Fulham. It was one of those games that was a little bit fucking stressful because you're kind of looking at it like... because, of course, they're quite low down in the table. They're near the relegation zone. So the game is literally trying to fucking hand Fulham the win. But no, we got there. We got a good hat-trick from Dominic Calvert-Lewin with goals from Vitaly Mikalenko and Joe Scally as well. Good 2-0 win against Nottingham Forest, goals from Iwobi and Gray. 2-1 win against Southampton with a brace from Gray. 2-1 win against, very close 2-1 win against Leeds. We need a 95th minute penalty from Ben Bertrand Diaz. And then we ended up getting a really frustrating 3-2 loss against Wolves. Betancourt and Iwobi dragged us back twice, and then we ended up fucking just throwing the fucking game away. Mostly because one of the huge problems I found is that I don't, aside from Connor Cody, I don't have any decent defenders in the squad. Mina is inconsistent, Tarkowski is terrible, and Keane is widely inconsistent as well. And it's a real struggle. We got a good fucking planes, man. If you can hear that, that's a plane. Where I live, there's a massive airbase right next to us. So you get that from time to time. So we got a good 1-0 win against Bournemouth, but again, it was quite close because they are quite low down the table. Alex Iwobi getting the only goal. And then we completely collapsed against Everton. I literally threw the fucking wall ball, told them it was an embarrassing performance. We got one goal back through Ben Barrett and Diaz, but we conceded 2 headers because, again, we didn't have a single fucking good defender on the pitch. After the Wolves game, by the way, Jordan Pickford's out. I've replaced him with Farronez permanently. He's going to be playing the rest of the games. In terms of, we've lost Calvert-Lewin for what is, I think, most of the rest of the season. Yeah, he's out for, another 4 weeks. So, basically, we've lost him for the final 4 games of the season. That's going to be fun. And plus, with that, we have to play Chelsea and Arsenal. We've got Aston Villa coming up away. We've got, Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, and West Ham at home. It's going to be a bit tough in terms of the competitions. We are in 5th. I'm a little bit worried we are going to end up finishing outside of the European places. I said the goal was to get to Europe. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to do that. If I have any benefits, is that I can say that Ben Barrett and Diaz has been a great buy. Where is he? 25 games, 11 goals, 7 assists, average rating 7.33. But losing Calvert-Lewin, especially with how many goals he has scored this season, is a huge, huge blow. 21 games, 14 goals, and then including 3 in the Cup. 17 goals for the season. Has he gone down to 3 stars? No, he's still 4 stars. I mean, Malpai and McNeil have not been great. I think we've got a couple of goals out of Gray, a couple of goals out of Bittencourt. But, it's been kind of... The more concern is, the state of the back, basically. Because at the moment, we can't get any sort of ability from the back. Ability at the back. We don't have... Said Cody is, the only good defender. I've been running with Cody and Mina for most of the game. For most of the season. So, it's kind of got a little bit... Kind of try and chop and change, find the system that works. But we've probably won most of our games at this point. Where are we? 20. The problem is 20 wins, 3 draws, 11 losses. And it's pretty much what keeps us out from being, properly in the way. We need to at least get a good result against either Chelsea or Arsenal. Wait, was that? How are Chelsea in the league? 9th. Yeah, we should be able to get a good result against Chelsea at least. Other than that, Villa and... Because there's no European place for 7th now because Villa won the League Cup. So, I need to be careful. But we should be able to get good results against West Ham and Villa. And then it's just trying to get a good result against either Chelsea or Arsenal. Anyway, I will see you guys at the end of May. Right, it's the end of the season. We finished outside of Europe. Not even because we lost to Arsenal, which I'll show you in a minute, but because we threw the lead away 3 times against West Ham. In fact, no, we threw it away twice. We went behind first. So we ended up coming back. We ended up throwing away the lead twice against Aston Villa, including a 94th minute equaliser from Morgan Sanson. Then we somehow beat Chelsea, which they didn't have a single shot on target. It was very much a case of, aside from Connor Cody doing quite well and Nathan Patson playing a blinder, it's probably the only game I've seen us do well defensively. Then we lost 1-0 with 10 minutes to go against Arsenal at the Emirates. And then we drew with West Ham. And on the final day, to rub salt in our wounds, City lost, which meant they finished the season on 69 points. So, if we'd have won, we'd have been in Europe and I'd have achieved my goal. All I can say is, this team does not have... And I've got to say, with a tinge of salt, but a tinge of... I've been keeping in track of this ever since we started. This team does not have a single decent centre-back. With the possible exception of Connor Cody, there is not a single decent centre-back in the team. Every single centre-back, the highest rate is Connor Cody. Every single other centre-back has basically played, on average, hasn't made over 6.8 on average. set, aside from Connor Cody and James Tarkowski at a stretch, that's 6.84. Every single other centre-back that's played has been absolutely dreadful. Fullbacks, we're fine. Nathan Patson's been good. Joe Scally's been decent. Vinogre could have been better, but Michaelenko's been pretty good as well. But every single centre-back has been fucking dreadful. And they've routinely pulled up 6.4, 6.5s and been absolutely crap. The fact that we went behind to West Ham, came back, took the lead twice, and couldn't hold the lead says a lot. It didn't help that I decided to play I did choose to play Farines, my backup keeper, because Pickford now wants to leave, because he wants to go to a bigger club, which I don't blame him. But basically, we've missed out on Europe. So, unfortunately, I didn't make the goal. I think maybe in hindsight I could have played Pickford, but I don't know whether it made much of a difference. Which is a shame, because we actually got a really good result against Chelsea. But the amount of games throughout the season we kind of threw away, because we weren't very good at defending. And even some of these, like 5-3, the 5-3s, the 3-2s, where we've effectively had to outscore our opponents 4-2 here, because they've not particularly been good defensively. Offensively, I think we've been fine. We've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin has obviously led the way. I think he's been our top scorer in the competition. 15 goals. Ben Brereton Diaz has been exceptional since buying him. 13 goals and 29 appearances, 7 assists. He's been incredibly good. And then, even players like Marpe could have been slightly better, I guess. 4 goals and 20 appearances isn't great in the league. Dwight McNeil's also been kind of shit. 7 goals and 22. Not ideal return. Gray's been alright and Bittencourt's been whelmed. 10 goals and 30 isn't necessarily bad for Gray in the league. And then Bittencourt's... he scored a few in the Cups, which is pretty good. Yeah, he's got like 2 goals in the Cup. And then he scored 5. 5 for us in the league. So only 7 goals, but counts. It could have gone so much better. All we had to do was win on the final day and we're in Europe. And then that's perfect. But as it is, we've missed out on a huge amount of money, which could have probably helped them get out of the red. And then now, Jordan Pickford wants to fucking leave. And I think probably Dominic Calvert-Lewin might be subject to a bid as well. I think not getting Europe will have screwed it. Which was frustrating because we got so close and then on the final day we couldn't do it. So, my entire experience, it wasn't as stressful as I thought it would be. But I would say it's easy to see why in the real life, and I actually say this having just seen that Everton have sacked their manager, obviously yesterday. But they are really bad defensively. And you see it in real world, and you see it if you play as Everton in game. They do not have a lot of defensive solidity. I don't think a single one of the defense partnership. The best one I had was probably Cody and Mina, which gave me about 4 or 5 games solidity, and then went to shit. I didn't get a fucking link between any of the players. This was pretty much the strongest team I could put out here, with the exception of putting in Pickford for Farines. So you got Michaelenko, Cody, Keane, Patterson, Doucouré, Idrissa Gueye, but then he got injured as well. That was the other problem we had. Idrissa Gueye got injured for the rest of the month. So if we change a few things around, probably the strongest team I could make was this. Farines, Michaelenko, Cody, Keane, Patterson, Gueye, Iwobi, Doucouré, Gray, Calvert-Lewin, and Brereton Diaz. That was probably the strongest team. But even then, that was subject to a lot of frailties, and Gueye would get banned once every couple of games because he collected yellow cards like you wouldn't believe. He's actually leading the competition for the most yellow cards. 15 goals for Dominic Calvert-Lewin is top. Yeah, most yellow cards. Idrissa Gueye, 18 yellow cards. And then if we go to the actual competition, this is really frustrating. Stats, player overview. Yeah, yellow cards. Leading the yellow cards, Idrissa Gueye with 16. Unbelievable. So he kept getting banned every single time. Um, yeah, in terms of strikers, like you see equal 8th. Yeah, so you see 8th there, and then Harling's run away with it. But yeah, it's a shame because I thought at one point we were doing very, very well. But at least we didn't get fucking relegated. Which is more at the moment than I can say for the real Everton. Because at the moment they're in fucking trouble. They sacked their manager yesterday. And I think it's either Dyke or bust. So, yeah. Anyway, this will be one season wonder with Everton. I'm going to try and get the next one out for Sunday. I already know what team I'm going to do. It is a change of team. I was going to do Sporting Braga, but I've seen everybody's issues with the Portuguese calendar, and I don't want any of that shit. I already know what team I'm going to do. It's going to be fun. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this, feel free to leave a like. If you want to see more, you can always subscribe. I've been Camp Bear Run, and thank you for watching. Right, initially I was going to do the end of season review, but why the hell not? So we're at the end of season review. We've got the new arrivals coming in, which I've just clicked the thing, but it's going to be a while. Obviously, the best one is Ben Brereton Diaz. He's done really, really well. Goals, 28 appearances, 16 goals, 7 assists, average rating 7.30. Other ones, Joe Scally, Vulca Farinez, fine. Bittencourt also did quite well as well. Obviously, and then there's a ton of... Funnily enough, all of the signings that I made were the best fucking players. Oh, I wonder why. So, yeah. Border Police have finished, yeah. Yeah, this is the... At one point we looked like qualifying for the Europa League, so that does take some shine off the achievement overall. It didn't help that Aston Villa won the League Cup, otherwise we'd be in Conference League right now. So we'd at least get in Europe. So, important, become an established Premier League, become one, because that's under threat. Believe you me. So, biggest win obviously was the Emirates Cup. We smashed Norwich 6-1. Norwich were appalling. Match to remember, the 3-2 versus City. Goal of the season being Idrissa Gueye strike against Nottingham Forest. Finances, everything is up. We're still massively in the red. Club rotation has not changed. Calvert-Lewin, Brereton Diaz. Yeah, Brereton Diaz was always going to sell a lot of fucking shirts. How I lined up, basically, except for changing those two around. I don't see why it's mindlessly switched all that around. Yeah, I think I ended up playing probably Tokowski more than Cody. Accolades, fans player of the season, Brereton Diaz. Young player of the season, Brereton Diaz. Signing the season, Brereton Diaz. Give Brereton Diaz all the awards. I would recommend anybody who's doing a playthrough of a mid-Premier League team, pick up Ben Brereton Diaz. He's actually quite good. Competition awards, nothing. Okay. I mean, we absolutely fucked up the end of the season. Yeah, don't care. Right. God could do any of this fucking crap. The important thing is that Bill Kenwright has decided to retire. If I can find that email. Yep, Kenwright replaces Elliot Summerfield. Okay, that's fine. And then the initial budgets, if we were staying on for another season, we've got 2.4 million transfer wage budget per week, and then a 50.3 million pound transfer budget. Except current vision. Ton of loan players to extend. That's fine. Everton player named in team of the week in Michaelenko. Coaching advice, Sarah Marie. Everton injury. Yep. Or none of that matters. Fucking... We missed out on Europe by a point because we couldn't hold on to a lead. Proper Everton, that.